Hi, welcome back to NielTheRealDeal's YouTube channel. That's me. And I'm going to give you today a kind of a minute detail review of the GM Supercruise. We're currently in my Silverado EV RST, brand new that just came out. I just want to give the full minute details about how the Supercruise works and how the little minor things that you'd notice when you're driving it that maybe you don't read or don't see in literature. So the full hands-on experience. Let me show you real quick how to engage the Supercruise. I'll show you what it looks like on my dashboard. So when you see the white symbol of the steering wheel and then the green car, that shows you that it's available. I just get in the middle of the lane and then I'm going to click this button right here. It'll start flashing blue. And then it turns green and you can let go of the steering wheel. So the little sensor that's on the top of the steering wheel there, that makes sure that your eyes are on the road. You can look away. I've looked away, for text messages and things like that quickly, but as long as it sees that you're paying attention, it'll stay on. If you don't, it will put you into timeout. I'm driving without my hands on the steering wheel and we're going 85 miles an hour. That's actually the top speed that it'll let you reach. You can't do Super Cruise above 85 miles an hour. You can do adaptive cruise, which I've done, and that's not going to be very frequent, but sometimes on the interstates, like in Utah where we're at, the speed limit's 80 and traffic will start going 87, 88, that kind of range, and you kind of want to go that fast with the flow of traffic when you can. I'll turn it off here. And I did that by tapping the brake and taking control of the steering wheel. On our continuation of the details here, one thing that you might be asking is the comfortability and the confidence level that you have. And the first time you do it, it's super trippy. Like you're like, okay, and it gives you that anxiety feeling of, turning your life over to a machine, right? But after you're doing it for a while, it gets almost too comfortable, really. Like I just feel, I'm uncomfortable how comfortable I am about it, is what I'm saying. I have really strong confidence in how it operates in sketchy situations, curvy road or tight corners, that sort of thing. It's really performed very, very well. One interesting detail I noticed is as we're passing large semis, I haven't noticed it with smaller vehicles, but it'll fade in the lane slightly away from the semi as opposed to staying dead center, which it typically always does. That's kind of a nice little touch, and I don't know if it's learning that from when I'm driving or if it just knows to do that on its own. So I don't know if it does the AI learning of my driving habits or not, but that is a cool little feature that it does. So a big part of this is how intuitive the Supercruise is in its engagement between you and the car. So if you come to a situation where you just maybe don't feel perfectly comfortable or whatever, and you take control of the wheel, it doesn't disengage the Supercruise like braking would with cruise control. Like you push the brake and it's off. It doesn't work like that. If I take control and I go, okay, here, I want to go right here, and I'm on the steering wheel, it knows that I'm on the steering wheel, and then I can let go and it'll take back control all by itself. It's really cool kind of how it works with you without being a full on and off switch like cruise control typically is. I'm going to demonstrate a lane change and how it works. One minor detail about this that I don't like is if I say lane change and I flick the indicator, I have to physically turn off the indicator myself. Now we're approaching this truck ahead. When we get to this truck, it's gonna change lanes on its own because we have to slow down so much. It knows that I wanna go 85. It'll wanna change lanes on its own. But when it does that, the interesting thing is the indicator will turn on and off by itself. One thing I think maybe they could fix in the future is if I engage and initiate the lane change with the indicator, that it should shut off on its own. A couple more things, it's very non-aggressive. So if you're more of an aggressive driver, you like to maintain speed as you're approaching, say, a slower truck on the right and you need to get over in the left when there's a vehicle somewhat in the area. It won't do that. It'll almost always wait for the vehicle to pass and then it'll get you over. I've had to take control only a couple of times. One big one is when there are major curves in the road and there's lots of vehicles in front of you. This truck has a hard time sensing exactly who's in what lanes. Sometimes it's done well at certain points, but other points it's not totally certain. So it'll ask you to take control in that kind of a scenario. Another is when there's a new passing lane that's created and you're in the left lane, and say the passing lane is started on the far left. It doesn't know which lane to go into as the new one's created, and it'll kind of go red and freak out and say, you know, that it wants you to take control. So it's done that, I think, once or twice to me. Not a huge deal, but a point. The overall opinion of it is I love it. Like, being able to just sit when you're kind of tired of driving, just being like, okay, I'm gonna cross my arms and relax and kind of tune out for just a second, just to take a mental breather. It's very relaxing. I noticed I wasn't nearly as tired when I got to my destination on the way down. Overall, just extremely happy with it. We're gonna exit the freeway, so this is perfect timing here to kind of sign off for the video. Once you get to your exit, it'll give you the control, and then you're gonna take it from there on out. That's a full review of GM Supercruise as I've experienced so far. Great product, and congrats to GM on doing such a great job.